What's in store for you? Embrace the transformative power of stillness. When was the last time you deliberately halted the constant buzz of your devices, ignored the barrage of notifications, and simply indulged in a moment of stillness? A moment to be fully present, contemplative, and reflective? Navigating today's bustling, cacophonous, and distracting world makes embracing stillness a challenging endeavor. However, history's most eminent thinkers and leaders recognized stillness as a clandestine weapon. Different cultures and philosophies bestowed various names upon it: Uspesa by Buddhists, Aslama by Muslims, and Apatheia by the Stoics, all referring to an inner tranquility, a profound stillness. The advantages of cultivating stillness are monumental. It has the potential to usher in moments of profound clarity and creativity, providing a means to conquer irritability and creating space to savor life's pleasures. The fascinating aspect is that anyone can learn to be still, even amidst the chaos and tumult of the world. Let's delve into the exploration of why stillness is the linchpin to unlocking a fulfilling life. Note: Chapter 6 contains strong language. In the course of this review, you will discover how a White House gardener played a pivotal role in averting nuclear catastrophe, the connection between Winston Churchill's bricklaying pursuits and his optimal performance, the insightful lessons Napoleon Bon. In the bustling city of Rome during the 1st century CE, the renowned powerbroker, playwright, and philosopher Lucius Annaeus Seneca faced a considerable challenge: finding stillness in the midst of incessant noise and personal turmoil. The environment around him was chaotic, with athletes grunting in the gym below, street vendors shouting, dogs barking, and his own inner concerns weighing heavily on him. In our contemporary era, marked by even more cacophony, the challenges have evolved to include the constant hum of phone conversations, the roar of traffic, the buzzing of planes overhead, overflowing inboxes, and unceasing social media notifications. Seneca, grappling with similar struggles, discovered a profound solution: embracing stillness. But what is stillness? It is that moment of deep concentration where insight strikes like a bolt from the blue. It's the powerful performance born from months of practice, or the simple act of basking in the warmth of the morning sun, grateful for the gift of life. In a state of stillness, as described by poet Rainer Maria Rilke, one is full, complete, with the cacophony of randomness and chaos muted. Despite the challenges and distractions, Seneca found the serenity to write influential philosophical essays, believing that inner peace could make everything else possible, even in a world at war. Stillness, he argued, held the key to thought, work, and a good life. The power of stillness transcends time and culture, with various names attributed to it by different philosophies and religions, such as Upekkha for Buddhists, Aslama for Muslims, Equanimitas for Christians, and Apatheia for Stoics. Apatheia, often misunderstood as apathy, actually refers to being undisturbed by passion in a positive sense, akin to emotional equanimity. In this review, we embark on an exploration of how to discover stillness for ourselves, drawing inspiration from the enduring wisdom that spans diverse cultures and historical epochs. On October 15, 1962, John F. Kennedy awoke to a world in upheaval. While he had slept, the CIA had uncovered Soviet nuclear missile sites under construction in Cuba, just under 100 miles from the Florida coast. The once remote possibility of a nuclear attack on the United States was suddenly a stark reality. Faced with immense pressure, Kennedy knew that the consequences of war and a nuclear attack could lead to the deaths of at least 70 million people in the initial strikes. The advice from his advisors echoed a common instinct: respond to aggression with greater aggression. The missile sites, they argued, must be destroyed. However, Kennedy resisted this impulse, understanding that such an approach could trigger a catastrophic nuclear war. The 13 days that followed became known as the Cuban Missile Crisis. Kennedy's ability to maintain composure during this critical period proved pivotal. Rather than succumbing to the pressure, he found stillness. His decision-making process involved resisting his gut reaction and deliberately slowing things down. Instead of immediately ordering a missile strike, he took time to reflect. While sailing, his usual meditative activity was not feasible in the urgent circumstances. He found solace in swimming in the White House pool and seeking peace and solitude in the Rose Garden. He even expressed gratitude to the resident gardener for her role in resolving the crisis. Ultimately, Kennedy announced a blockade of Cuba, prioritizing thoughtful consideration over a hasty resolution. This strategic move allowed his Soviet counterpart, First Secretary Nikita Khrushchev, the time and space to think. The crisis came to a close when Khrushchev wrote to Kennedy, emphasizing the importance of statesmanlike wisdom to prevent mutual annihilation. Negotiations ensued for the removal of missiles, and Kennedy's approach had successfully averted a global cataclysm. Kennedy's leadership demonstrated that in high-stakes situations, acting from a place of stillness, rather than stress, can be instrumental. This involves resisting immediate reactions, taking the time to deliberate, and creating mental space for thoughtful decision-making. Kennedy's legacy in the Cuban Missile Crisis underscores the power of finding stillness in the face of crisis and choosing the path of wisdom over immediate aggression. In 2010, at the Museum of Modern Art in New York, performance artist Marina Abramovic transformed stillness into a remarkable display of endurance. Over 79 days, for 750 hours, she sat in silence. Across from her chair was another for visitors to sit and share a moment. More than 1,500 museum-goers took part, and each time a new visitor arrived, Marina would take a moment to collect herself before meeting their gaze. The performance was aptly titled, "The Artist is Present." Marina understood the significance of maintaining her presence throughout the performance. Any lapse in her focus, whether through daydreaming or displaying signs of fatigue or boredom, would be immediately apparent to the person across from her. Consequently, she dedicated herself entirely to the present moment. Those who sat across from Marina found the experience profoundly moving. Confronted by her complete presence and unwavering occupation of the moment, some were overcome with emotion, openly shedding tears. Why does this simple act of being present elicit such a powerful response? Often, people are not actively trying to be in the moment. Instead, they seek ways to escape it. Whether capturing a photo of a beautiful sunset instead of enjoying it or letting the mind race through to-do lists during a quiet evening at home, true presence can be elusive. Even while waiting in line to see Marina Abramovic, many were preoccupied with checking their phones. However, not being present comes at a cost. The present is all we truly have, and if we are not fully engaged in it, life slips past unnoticed. Artists like Marina Abramovic exemplify a state of wakefulness to the present, truly seeing and experiencing each moment. In contrast, as individuals distract themselves with hopes, fears, and fantasies, the practice of stillness and presence is what nurtures brilliance. Athletes are trained to be absolutely present, not only for the sake of cherishing each moment but because distraction leads to subpar performance. Similarly, in life, being fully present is key. Whatever the task at hand, whether work or personal, resisting the urge to consider external opinions, avoiding worry or overthinking, and calming the mind are essential practices to embrace the brilliance that arises from being fully present.
If you derive value from our content, we would be grateful for your support through likes, shares, and subscriptions. Your comments serve as both our guiding star and the bedrock of our progress. Thank you. Now, let's immerse ourselves back into the review.
On June 12, 1942, Anne Frank made her first entry in her diary, expressing the hope that she could confide everything to it, finding solace in its pages. Within 24 hours, Anne's family went into hiding from the Nazis. Despite the dire circumstances, Anne continued journaling, discovering the profound insights that such reflection offered. Writing became a means of observing oneself as if from an outsider's perspective, providing a fresh understanding of one's actions. Anne noted that if people reviewed their behavior at the end of each day, they would strive to improve the next. This practice of reflective journaling wasn't unique to Anne Frank. Philosophers like Seneca also embraced it, writing in his journal every night, sparing no detail and confronting harsh truths. Such a practice contributed to his ability to sleep soundly. Throughout history, notable figures like Oscar Wilde, Queen Victoria, Martina Navratilova, and Sean Green have engaged in journaling, recognizing its positive impact on well-being. Scientific studies support the benefits of journaling, showing its effectiveness in restoring well-being following traumatic events. For instance, a University of Arizona study revealed that individuals going through a divorce found it easier to move on when they documented their experiences in a journal. To cut through the noise of daily life and focus on essential reflections, consider picking up a pen and paper. Following Seneca's example, confront tough questions honestly and thoughtfully. Journaling doesn't demand a specific time, place, or duration. The crucial aspect is creating a quiet moment to express thoughts. Whether in the evening, morning, or during a brief train ride, journaling offers a valuable opportunity to find stillness through writing and reflection, potentially becoming the most important time in one's day. In our noisy lives, filled with ringing phones and constant notifications, silence often takes a back seat. Even when we have moments of stillness, such as sitting on an airplane with nowhere to go, we tend to rely on distracting noise, movies, podcasts, or music, rather than embracing the potential richness of silence and contemplating our thoughts. Experimental music composer John Cage deeply understood the value of silence. In 1928, he argued for the establishment of a National Day of Quiet during a high school speaking competition. Throughout his life, Cage explored the concept of silence. His most famous creation, 4 Feet 33, is a composition that consists of 4 minutes and 33 seconds of uninterrupted silence. During the first performance, the audience listened to the ambient sounds, the wind outside the hall, raindrops on the roof, realizing that true silence is filled with accidental sounds. Cage aimed to help people truly hear by presenting them with intentional silence. For those living in excessively noisy environments, embracing silence can be a way to refocus, find clarity, and experience stillness. Leadership expert Randall Stutman, who works with CEOs and Wall Street leaders, discovered that successful individuals recharge by spending time in minimally noisy environments, engaging in activities like long-distance cycling, swimming, or scuba diving. By dialing down the noise, people can develop a deeper awareness of their surroundings, whether it's the sound of rain on a roof during silent contemplation or the revelation of solutions to business problems during a peaceful bike ride. Finding stillness of the soul became a profound challenge for Tiger Woods despite the pinnacle of his career in June 2008 when he clinched his third U.S. Open golf championship with a broken leg, marking his 14th major victory. Regarded as one of the sport's finest triumphs, this success was short-lived. Within 21 days, the New York Post exposed Woods' secret life of affairs with porn stars, waitresses, and inappropriate encounters, leading to a downfall that saw him without another major victory for over a decade. In the metaphorical words of Vietnamese monk Thich Nhat Hanh, the surface of the ocean may appear calm, but currents lurk beneath. This analogy encapsulates Woods' predicament, a man renowned for finding stillness in moments of stress, yet beneath the surface, he grappled with powerful inner turmoil. His upbringing, shaped by a father who taunted him during golf games and a mother who threatened him with consequences, molded him into a cold-blooded champion on the course but left him with a deeply troubled soul. This turmoil manifested in Woods neglecting and betraying his family in a quest for dishonest and ultimately unsatisfying affairs. Reflecting on this tumultuous period, Woods realized that a life built on lies is devoid of joy. His story serves as a cautionary tale, emphasizing that the relentless pursuit of external success is not worth the damage it can inflict on one's soul. While stillness proves beneficial in fields like business and sports, its true value lies in achieving tranquility within our personal lives. The pursuit of happiness and contentment necessitates attaining stillness of the soul, steering clear of the tumultuous path that may turn us into hot-blooded, raging individuals rather than the serene monks we aspire to be. Understanding the principles of stillness involves recognizing the pitfalls of unbridled desire, a lesson exemplified by an incident during the Cuban Missile Crisis in John F. Kennedy's life. Despite his pivotal role in world affairs, Kennedy allowed base desires to lead him astray, highlighting the pervasive nature of desire in human behavior. Reflecting on this universal tendency, it becomes apparent that succumbing to superficial desires, whether for beauty, power, the latest gadgets, or wealth, can hinder the attainment of genuine contentment. Epicurus, the Greek philosopher, offered a valuable test to discern the nature of desires. When confronted with a new desire, he advised asking, "How will I feel afterward if I actually get what I want?" This question prompts contemplation of the potential consequences, urging individuals to consider the hangover, not just the taste of the drink, and the sense of guilt, not just the thrill of the affair. By learning to control desires, individuals can take a crucial step toward cultivating stillness in their lives. Acceptance of having enough emerges as a key aspect of this journey. A poignant anecdote featuring writers Kurt Vonnegut and Joseph Heller illustrates this point. At a party hosted by a billionaire, Vonnegut questioned how it felt to know the host likely earned more that day than Heller's classic, Catch-22, had in its entire history. Heller's response conveyed profound wisdom. He possessed something the billionaire never could, the knowledge that he had enough. This perspective signifies contentment with personal achievements, bringing about stillness by liberating individuals from incessant want and the burden of comparison with others. The narrative serves as a reminder that the pursuit of more may lead to a perpetual cycle of desire, while embracing the notion of enough fosters a serene sense of release and self-satisfaction. Heller's contented embrace of enough becomes a beautiful testament to the tranquility found in acknowledging one's sufficiency. As Heller himself continued to produce novels without the need for validation or comparison, his equanimity in response to critical comments exemplified the serenity that comes from knowing and accepting that personal achievements are indeed enough. Embracing the Japanese concept of Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing, reflects a therapeutic approach to healing spiritual distress through a connection with nature. This idea aligns with John F. Kennedy's experience of finding stillness in the White House's Rose Garden during the Cuban Missile Crisis. While regular forest baths might not always be feasible, especially for urban dwellers, cultivating an appreciation for less conspicuous expressions of beauty enables individuals to discover it in various facets of life. The Roman philosopher and emperor Marcus Aurelius, often perceived as a somber Stoic figure, serves as an example of someone who found beauty in the ordinary. In his writings, he eloquently describes the captivating sight of bread splitting as it bakes, highlighting how the cracks engage our attention and evoke appetite. Furthermore, Marcus Aurelius extends his perspective on beauty to encompass even the realm of death. He suggests approaching the final resting place with grace, akin to a ripened olive falling from the tree, expressing gratitude for the life and growth provided by its source. The key takeaway is to draw inspiration from figures like Marcus Aurelius and John F. Kennedy, learning to observe and appreciate the beauty that surrounds us. This stillness, often overlooked in our daily lives, exists as an abundant and ever-present phenomenon. All it requires is a moment of pause and observation to perceive the inexhaustible supply of beauty present in the world. Winston Churchill, despite his exceptionally busy and productive life, was a surprising example of someone who embodied stillness. His secret lay in an unconventional choice of physical activity, bricklaying. Learning the craft from employees on his Chartwell estate, Churchill found solace and meditative peace in the process of mixing mortar, applying it with a trowel, and stacking bricks. In a letter to then Prime Minister Stanley Baldwin, Churchill proudly shared that, alongside his ministerial duties, he had written 2,000 words a day and laid 200 bricks. Churchill's daughter, Mary, noted that bricklaying, along with his other beloved hobby of painting, served as more than just pastimes. They were his primary remedies for the depression he occasionally faced. These activities provided an intellectual escape and a means to engage his body, showcasing the connection between physical well-being and mental stillness. The idea of cultivating both mind and body through hobbies extends beyond Churchill's example. Many historical figures, including William Gladstone and John Cage, indulged in hobbies alongside their significant roles. Gladstone, a four-time Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, found stillness in chopping down trees, while John Cage embraced mushroom hunting. This highlights the importance of incorporating physical activity into one's routine to escape the pressures of work or life, fostering the kind of stillness experienced by these historical figures. However, as the final chapter will explore, balance is key, and it's essential not to take these activities to extremes. Winston Churchill, despite his active and busy life, made a crucial discovery in Cuba that would profoundly impact his well-being. It wasn't a military strategy or a rhetorical device but the rejuvenating power of the siesta. While emphasizing the importance of physical well-being, it's crucial to avoid an excessive focus on constant activity, a common tendency in today's work-centric culture. Many individuals, including bankers, lawyers, and startup founders, often sacrifice sleep for longer work hours, adopting the mindset of, "I'll sleep when I'm dead." However, true greatness, exemplified by figures like Churchill, acknowledges the significance of sleep in achieving peak performance. Studies, such as those conducted by psychologist Anders Ericsson on master violinists, emphasize the physiological and performance benefits of adequate sleep, reinforcing the idea that great performers prioritize and value sleep. Beyond physiological advantages, recognizing the need for rest is an essential aspect of understanding personal limits and embracing moderation. In a world where many try to do too much, moderation becomes a pathway to stillness. The historical example of Prince Albert, who overworked himself to the point of damaging his health, serves as a cautionary tale against constant busyness. Today, many feel compelled to continually engage in tasks, responding to emails or participating in last-minute business trips. The call to action is clear: stop, be present, understand your limits, and embrace moderation. Protect your body as a precious gift, focusing on physical health, spirit, and mind. By slowing down, calming the chaos, and quieting the noise, you can genuinely embrace stillness in your life, experiencing its transformative power. The central theme of the book is the importance of cultivating stillness in our lives, drawing inspiration from the habits of great individuals throughout history. Here are the key takeaways. 1. Embrace stillness. The ability to remain calm and focused amid life's chaos is a hallmark of greatness. Strive to be present, cultivate silence, and reflect deeply on your thoughts and actions. 2. Practices for stillness. Journaling. Maintain a journal to reflect on your experiences and gain insights into your behavior. It's a powerful tool for self-discovery and personal growth. Forest bathing. Appreciate the beauty around you, even in everyday moments. Finding beauty in ordinary things can bring a sense of stillness to your life. 3. Physical and mental well-being. Moderation. Acknowledge your limits and avoid overcommitting. Embrace moderation in your work and personal life. Sleep. Prioritize adequate sleep, recognizing its essential role in physical and mental health. Protect your body as a valuable asset. 4. Hobbies and leisure. Hobbies. Engage in activities that provide intellectual escape and physical exercise. Winston Churchill found solace in bricklaying. Showcasing the benefits of cultivating hobbies. Knowing when you have enough. Foster contentment by recognizing when you have achieved sufficiency. Echoing the wisdom of figures like Joseph Heller. 5. Simplify and declutter. Minimalism. Eliminate unnecessary possessions to declutter your physical and mental space. A rich life is about experiences and relationships, not material possessions. 6. Actionable advice. Declutter. Rid yourself of unnecessary belongings. Simplify your life by focusing on experiences and relationships rather than material possessions. This act of decluttering creates space for mental clarity and freedom. By incorporating these practices into your life, you can cultivate stillness and enhance your overall well-being. The pursuit of greatness involves not just achieving external success but also finding peace and serenity within yourself. Welcome to one of the finest personal development book summary channels on the internet. We're thrilled to have you join our amazing community that values growth and strives for improvement. Your support is instrumental in our channel's progress, and we deeply appreciate your engagement. In return, I commit to delivering consistent and valuable content, enriching you with knowledge and inspiring you to take meaningful action. Thank you for staying tuned and being a part of this journey towards continuous improvement.